Sup? This is about the version 5.0 update for Honkai Impact the 3rd. So I'll just go through and get started. First, I'll just cover general stuff. You have the supply, which there's nothing going on for the update at this time. None of the supplies specific to the 5.0 update will occur until August 13th at 12 noon. You could go to the news. You have the outfit supply, which one right here, scroll to the top, it says August 13th at 12 noon. And then you have the Herrscher of Flamescion, which again isn't until August 13th at 12 noon. You have other activities. You have the Bursting Blaze, which is kind of like the Battlesuit trial, which is available after the update. It's basically you could do the tutorial. Not until you get the character can you do the actual challenge trials or challenge stages. You have the Elysian Realm. You have the Summer Light, so on, Sea Breeze, Login, Summer Vault. So that's basically the supply, and you could say the news. If I go to the events, when Sparks Converge, this was an event that was available before the update. The Elysian Realm, this came available after the update. You get to get resources and tokens for participating in Elysian Realm activities. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention to this and following along. You have the Heated Dash, which was available before the 5.0 update. The Bursting Blaze, which became available after the update. You get, again, resources for participating in the tutorial, and if you get the Herrscher of Flamescion, which becomes released, you'll be able to get more resources for going through the challenge trials. You have the Blazing Legacy, which I believe was, no, actually this became available after the 5.0 update. Basically, you share and whatnot, and you get raffle tickets every day when you share, and you get to, make draws and whatnot for the raffle, and you can get resources and eventually a focus supply card. Version preview, which was available before the 5.0 update. So that's pretty much in general the events. The one event that I kept out of it because I want to spend some time focusing on it is the Summer Vault event. Now you want to make sure that you're following along and you're paying attention to this daily, because there are activities for you to do daily that will give you summer points, and these summer points add up to the total towards you working towards getting the Lewin Hulk Stigma option. So you don't want to miss a day of activities for the Summer Vault event, because if you do, it will just prolong you being able to get the Lewin Hulk Stigma option. So again, you want to make sure you want to make sure that you're paying attention to the Summer Vault event daily, doing all the activities for the day, as well as keeping a tally or staying active for the weekly based activities for the Summer Vault event. So that's pretty much it for the general stuff and the Summer Vault event. Moving on to the Herrscher of Flamescion. If I come here right now, there's no Battlesuit trials. The only thing really available is the Bursting Blaze. So if I come here, I did the tutorial already. And what I wanted to talk about with Herrscher of Flamescion is that she basically, is all the things that made the other Valkyries unique to play. It's like they took a lot of those things and just put it into one character. And I guess my opinion, as the more I experienced and thought about it, it's like, MiHoYo, at least from what I've seen them in the past, it's like they want to make money. They want to make something that will sell. People will be willing to spend real world money on to get. And so I just feel like this Herrscher of Flamescion is like the culmination of that kind of mindset and effort or business practice. They're like, we want to make a Herrscher that will definitely sell. How do we do that? Well, let's give her all the things that made the other Valkyrie characters fun to play. Let's put all those things into one, and we're gonna put it into Kiana, which is like our story, our main story protagonist. And so, to really support what I'm saying, with Herrscher of Flamescion, what you have is that whenever time she does a combo outside of Herrscher form, she loses HP up to a certain amount of HP loss. Having to manage HP loss, even though the mechanic is different, is very similar to Blood Rose. And with Blood Rose Himiko, you have to manage HP loss after she casts her ultimate, where her HP loss happens automatically and becomes more dramatic the longer you stay in her ultimate. You have to also manage HP loss with Herrscher of Flamescion, Kiana. So that kind of unique mechanic that was to Blood Rose Himiko is now something you have to, I guess, look forward to experiencing with Herrscher of Flamescion. Also, too, she has this overheat mechanic, just like Vermilion Knight Eclipse. So it's like whenever you cast an ultimate, whenever you cast a combo attack outside of Herrscher form and within Herrscher form, it builds up heat. So it's like, you know, if it overheats, it's like she'll lose some damage and whatnot, which is just like Vermilion Knight Eclipse. So it's like, you know, two things that come from the two different types of Himiko this Herrscher of Flamescion has. Also, too, in order to pull off some of her combos or to do like the fight in the various forms, you have to use a combination of her, you know, basic attack and her ultimate attack button. That's like an A-B or a 2-button type of combo or attacking style system, which is very similar to Fuha. Fuha, you have to, like practically all her characters, you have to use a combination of both A and of her basic attack and her ultimate attack button in order to do like different types of combos. What am I saying with Herrscher of Flamescion? Basically, with the way it works, in order to get enemies into the air, you have to tap her ultimate button, and then you have to start attacking with the basic attack button while in the air. And that's how that works. So that level of complexity between using the basic attack button and the ultimate button just to pull off combos is something that was unique to Fuha. And now they gave something like that to Herrscher of Flamescion. And also, too, the biggest thing that you'll probably notice, like all the other things are like technical aspects that you have to like, okay, pay attention to or experience with other characters. But the thing that's most readily visual is the way that she fights. Her whole fighting style is very reminiscent of Vermilion Knight Eclipse. The only time where things look kind of like different is, you know, when she casts her ultimate. And also, too, a key thing about her ultimate is let's see if I can pause it and go to inputs. It doesn't say it here, but her ultimate only requires 75 SP to cast, which is just like Starchasm Nyx. Starchasm Nyx's ultimate only costs 75 SP to cast. And I figured, okay, you know, Starchasm Nyx, it costs SP, but it's very low, so they could try to keep it on par with Stygian Nymph, because with Stygian Nymph, you could cast her ultimate without any SP. But with Stygian Nymph, if she has SP, her ultimate will do more damage, up to 70 SP, I believe it is. So if you have up to 70 SP, her ultimate will do as much damage as possible. So that's the reason why why they limited, or why they brought down the SP requirement for Starchasm Nyx to 75. But now, since they've done the same thing with, you know, Herrscher of Flamescion, it's like, okay. It's like they're just, it's like a I forgot what they call it, a collage of all the best features, of all the unique features of all the other Valkyrie battlesuits being put into one. And so, you know, that's my, you know, impression of this Herrscher of Flamescion. And just to prove or to validate what I'm saying right here, activation cost 75 SP. So, you know, that's my impression of Herrscher of Flamescion from experiencing her and watching her, and you know, playing with her. And you know, for me personally, I think her ultimate, and I think her visual style is awesome, and that alone is like enough reason to want to play with her. But as far as, you know, spending crystals to acquire her, my personal opinion is to pass, because there are so many other Valkyries that are very similar to her that already exist, that you may already own, that to get a Valkyrie that's basically like a collage of everyone else, it's like, you know, it's like, why? You know, you would have to really be sold on Kiana and the fact of having a new Herrscher. But outside of that, she's basically all the other characters you may already own in one. And if you like playing with those other characters, it's like there's not a real incentive to get her outside of competition, so you can be the best. And to me, I try not to spend crystals to try to be the best, because there's always going to be a new revision of the game where something else will be the best. And if you get stuck in that cycle of always trying to be the best, you won't be able to keep up unless you're willing to start dumping out or shelling out or spending a lot of real world money on crystals to keep up. And that's not a type of behavior pattern I want to encourage people to let's say adopt. So that's my Herrscher of Flamescion. So now moving on to the Elysian Realm. The Elysian Realm, it seems like they spent a lot of time fleshing this out. You know, info, you have the shop, which I kind of briefly covered over. You have the archive with a lot of little nooks and crannies for things for you to, you know, like extracurricular activity or extra things you can follow along with and do. It's very reminiscent of Genshin Impact with how thorough or how in-depth, you know, their lore and their systems and their story is. It's very reminiscent or very following along that kind of expansiveness or breadth of content, which I think is good. You have different paths, which is very reminiscent of the post Honkai Odyssey open world with the path system. So it looked like they incorporated that aspect here. Also, too, I guess even before post Honkai Odyssey, you had the Divine King system. So it looks like they're incorporating that into here as well, that kind of expansion system into here. You have the Valkyrie upgrades, to where for each Valkyrie you could do boost of attack, which is very similar to, like, a lot of this stuff borrows from Threshold Breach, but whereas in Threshold Breach they had a segment where you could boost all the Valkyries that you would unlock, you know, damage. It seems like they've attributed this to each particular Valkyrie. In this particular case, the difference here is that one is attributed to each specific Valkyrie, so you have to spend your resources wisely. Also, two, each Valkyrie that you can unlock, you play with the Valkyrie that you own. So that's also two different. Instead of having a stock Valkyrie with whatever preset of, you know, stigmata options and weapons, you now get to play with the Valkyrie that you may have been building up over time. You can also experiment with different stigmata sets. You're not just forced to play with whatever the stock they give you. So, you know, that's different, and that makes that interesting. The only qualm I have with this whole Valkyrie upgrades is that the Valkyries you get to choose from, they did say it'll be limited, but it's like Herrscher of Flamescion is an option, Herrscher of Thunder is an option, Herrscher of Reason is an option, Stygian Nymph is an option, Argent Knight Artemis is an option. It's like a lot of these Valkyries you have to have spent a lot of money to get. Like you had to dump a whole, like you have to put a whole bunch of crystals into the dorm supply, or when their supplies were available outside of the dorm, to get these characters so you could already have them to play with. Because if you come in here and you have built up other Valkyries to play with, and, you know, for me particularly, I built up a lot of the Fuhas. Also, too, I have Herrscher of Sentience, but she's not even in here. So it's like, you know, it just feels like for people who've been following along with trying to always get every Valkyrie, or who are trying to get the Valkyries to be the best, it felt like this Elysian Realm is catering to them first initially, because the Valkyries you have to get, they all are basically, most of them are basically behind paywalls. The only Valkyrie there's a few Valkyries not behind a paywall. You have the newest one, Princess der Verling, which is from the crossover event. You have Valkyrie Gloria, and then you have Ritual Emio, which I thought was just a weird option. You know, it's not a Valkyrie most people would invest in. I've seen some people playing with it, but she's like one of the first Valkyries you get when you first come to the game. As you progress and you start building, going towards other Valkyries, you're not really going to be like playing with her. So, you know, I'm just not quite sure why they, you know, put her, you know, just put her as an option. I mean, if anything, the thing that I want to kind of like, you could say warn people about is that, you know, when they put these characters here, like in the game like this, you know, it's like I haven't, you know, leveled up her battle suit. Her battle suit is at level 1 for Princess der Verling. And then Valkyrie Gloria, I've actually leveled her up to S, but I just did that just because way back when. And Ritual Umaro, she just got to SS just by happenstance from just playing the game for like over a year and a half, getting her fragments from various things as I was doing other stuff. I never really tried to get her to SS. And I never took her skills past, you know, like I never upgraded her skills. Like if I go to the Valkyrie, you know, Valkyrie Gloria, she's just S, and I actually just upgraded her skills because I was going through a phase where it's like, okay, I'll get these Valkyries to S, and I'll just upgrade all their skills. But to upgrade her skills only costs, you know, coins. With Princess Verling, she's an SP character. So her skills not only cost coins, they also too cost, you know, advanced skill material, as well as, you know, Mithril, in addition to coins. And it's the same thing with, you know, Ritual Emio. Her skills also too cost advanced skill material, and before they get to that point, they cost Mithril. And so what I'm trying to get at is that, you know, when they put these Valkyries in place like this, it's a way to get, you know, players to like dump their resources early on, because people are going to want to feel the pressure to succeed. They're going to feel the pressure to just want to participate in the content. You're going to feel the pressure to want to be able to get whatever resources they can get. And it'll be like, oh man, I can't get the resources. Well, what characters do I have to play with? Oh man, you know, I don't have these characters behind the paywall. So either I just go ahead and dump crystals now to get these characters, you know, from either the dorm supply or whenever their supplies are available, you know, and if I don't have those, oh man, I have these free to play ones. I guess I better go build them up. Oh man, it takes all this material resources. I better go ahead and, you know, dump all my resources into those. And if I can't do that, then I need to go to the, you know, the shops, go to the mall or go to the shops, or what is supply and recharge, and buy whatever packs and bundles or whatever that allow me to get the resources I need to build those heroes so I can play. And so that's like the warning or the thing to really try to put up like a caution or a warning sign about, is that whenever they do this, initially it's a way to get people to dump, resources and hopefully get them to spend real money at the very beginning. So this way they feel like they can participate, or if they want to try to compete, they'll feel like they can do that as well from the very beginning. Moving on, we have the Remembrance Vessel, which again is more of the breadth of content in line or in reminiscence of Genshin Impact. You get to gain resources as you upgrade the heroes, like these Remembrance Vessels. These Remembrance Vessels are very much akin to I forget what they're called. I think they're called shrines in Genshin Impact. In each of the different zones, there's shrines for that zone. Like a zone of air will have multiple shrines to where you can unlock and upgrade it, and as you upgrade it, you get things. Well, this is very similar to that. And then you have recollections, which allows you to learn more about the story and whatnot. So this is all pretty cool, and you have 13 of these things to unlock. So this just like a breadth of content in relation to the lore in the game, or at least of this game type. I guess was this a quick start. They have different areas in this game type. You have the lounge where you could go in. I'm pretty sure they're going to flesh it out. If you want to interact with Alicia, you can. I'm pretty sure she'll have more things to say. I'm trying to skip. You could look at the Remembrance Vessels. You can go to the archive in the lounge. There's viewing achievements and whatnot. I guess I have a few things to claim. Also, too, as you play the Elysium stages, you'll eventually run into the 13 heroes from the prior era. I think they're called Mantis. You'll run into the 13 different mantises that they've been talking about. And as you do that, you'll be able to claim resources for interacting with them. You have the battleground, which is where you go to start, to do battle. It seems like this achievement is a little box that's present everywhere. You have the war room, to where you can, access the keys. I say keys. You can access the upgrade paths. Valkyrie upgrade. So there are specific areas where you can go to interact with those things that they've kind of put there and fleshed out, as well as the little quick menu options down at the bottom. Overall, I think this Elysian Realm is, I think it's, all the stuff they've been doing over time feels like it's just been a testing ground to figure out, what players like. And then they've just been trying to take all those things and put it into one piece of content. Because this has been advertised as a permanent addition to Honkai Impact 3rd. And, if you play the open worlds, and they've never finished an open world, really. I think the only open world where they finished it was the first one, Samsara Sakura. But the second one, I forgot the name of that open world. We fight on the base. I guess I should just come out of here and take a look. Attack, open world. Cisco HQ, open world. It feels like it's not finished, and a Post Honkai Odyssey feels like it's not finished. And it's it feels like, they put these things here and they've just been taking, collecting data. And all the things and all the different game types that are all either feel like they're not finished or rotational, they took all the data that they've gathered from that to try to make this Elysian Realm, and to make it something that they feel like people would enjoy and would want to play. So in that regard, the fact that all the stuff they've been making, some of the things they have not finished and the things that were rotational, to take all that information and to actually bring a piece of content for players to play, that's permanent, I think it's good on MiHoYo for doing that. I guess that pretty much covers the 5.0 update as far as the content and the things I wanted to talk about. I gotta say, to see that MiHoYo is still innovating, you know, with this game and with their content, I think is a positive sign. I think it's a good thing. It kind of keeps the game fresh, and it kind of sends a signal to its player base that no, you know, we don't just see this game as just a means to milk the players. I mean, I say that only because that's just kind of like how gacha games work. They actually, like, we're going to take some of the earnings that we've made that we've got from the players, that we're going to actually turn around and make the game, let's say, provide more value to the game. Also, too, I would say make the game better. So you could say those are my thoughts on this 5.0 update, Herrscher of Flamescion and the Elysian Realm. And that's pretty much it for this video. All right, peace.